Alrighty. Hey, Tiffany. This ain't that book club. I'm tired, y'all. It's Wednesday. And only reason I'm out and about and dressed is because I'm actually headed to do a radio interview. But I wanted to come and see what the new release is. Now, we know this is our next president, y'all. And he has asked America to just hold on and keep dreaming. I'm pretty sure that he is looking to make that announcement at some point. I mean, and we really should be busy right now. Now, I'm not in my normal store. I'm at the Target. I'm actually at Target downtown, Atlantic Station, because I got to go right around the corner and do radio. But I just wanted to come in and talk to you guys a little bit and give you some This Ain't That Book Club, see what's on the shelf. Last week, our book was T-Boz's book, and I'm looking around. I don't see it on the shelf here. I see a couple of things that's been on the shelf a while. We also did a little bit into that weight devotional. That seems like it's going to be pretty good. So I'm looking around. Trevor Noah, if you have a young man in the house, I'm telling you, if you want to open up his horizons, that is the book. That was one of the first ones on our list. And there is, you know what? And he's on a tour right now. I need people. I can't separate him from the guy that's on, what is it? Empire. Every time I see one, I think of the other. You know. I'm looking for something. What I'm going to talk about on the radio today is intent and integrity. Okay, that's what I've been ranting about. If you've been down my timeline, like, you know, what is she finna do now? I'm going to talk about intent and integrity today. But I'm going on with Chandon, and Chandon has a pretty good time on his show. And Chandon talks more than I do, if that's even a thing. Chandon talks more than I do. And so, I think it's going to be absolutely fun. Their books are even, look at this, the Hamilton Affair. This is what I'm talking about. Find yourself in the supply chain. Now, on This Ain't That Book Club, we don't read novels and things like that. We like memoirs. We like books that, read like blogs. We like books that we can put on the shelf and take it down periodically. And that's what we've been kind of exploring. And we did a lot of it over the summer. I just kind of have to explain how This Ain't That Book Club came about. Everybody kind of took a hiatus over the summer. And, we didn't necessarily blog. I had to step away from Dryer Buzz for a minute. But at the same time, I wanted to feed my mind, soul, and spirit. And so we started picking up a book. And we would explore that book. And I said, well, if I'm reading, you guys are reading. So let me put it on my stream. And then you guys said, well, let's keep it going. Why stop? And look, they've got an Obama book here. And then one on Michelle Obama. Now, this book on Michelle Obama was one of our books of This Ain't That Book Club, and we had a lot of conversation about this book simply because the cover of the book and the photos of the book. And this was a sister who wanted to, actually says she did break some glass ceilings and stereotypes and things like that. I said, but unfortunately, in doing her book, the number one stereotype is right there on the corner, and that is not letting African Americans make eye contact. Right? Why this, what some call these artistic poses, the side profile. We all know the side profile is a stereotype. It is a stereotype because, hell, we can go right here. This, look, women outlaws. All of them are looking dead at us, making eye contact. See, a lot of people, say, why are you rocking the boat? They got these two books. I understand that. But imagine if you were standing here and Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were looking dead at you just like these criminals. Okay, this is a book on outlaws. What are they doing? Nobody's threatened by them. Why are you more threatened by them? This ain't that book club. I'm not buying a book that the subject of the book can't connect with me, and I needed to connect with me. And throughout this entire book on Michelle Obama, all of the pictures are like that because those are the pictures that she had to take. Those are the pictures that. Oh, look, Hamilton Affair. I know you love Hamilton. Those are the pictures that she had to take in trying to crack that glass ceiling. And the only reason I can talk about that being the angle of the book is because when we open the book, and what we do is we explore a book. And guys, I got to be off of here at the 45. So please make sure I am on here no longer than 10, 15 minutes. 9 minutes will be good. I'm trying to think. Let me see. I know there was the author. I'm trying to get to the author page in the book. I can't get to it. Oh, there it is. Right. Because that's her conversation about how, and that's her, and she says, how do you break a glass ceiling? You come with the tallest ladder, right? But at the same time, in publishing this book, we never, in all these pictures that she got to take of the president and first lady while covering them in the White House, you're not going to tell me that the first lady didn't connect with the fact that there was a black female photographer in the press pool. You're not going to tell me that she didn't look dead at her, that she didn't give her shot each and every time. But when she got to the table, I need to know, when she got ready to publish this book, these are the only images. I don't want a book of the first lady with a bunch of side profile. I mean, we never get eyes. We never, in this, look. And I understand these are the pictures that you had to sell, because I know as a photographer, once a photographer, I know what it was like to be on that list. But I never had to go, convince an editor to publish my stuff. So I know what these photographers had to deal with, and I know that they sat down, and I know that they went through and selected each of those. But that was another week. This ain't that book club. We already did that one. So looking around the shelves, just trying to see. I always tell you guys, listen, it's getting ready to be holiday season. And for every occasion, buy a book. For every occasion, buy a child a basket of books. We've been creating our basket at home. I love that we still got to check this one out here. The Moana story. I mean, everybody's loving it. All the kids are loving that. The Hate You Give. And we explored that one. And because I don't have enough time, we're probably not going to do it yet. We got 7 minutes. We got 15 minutes on here. The Hate You Give. This one is kind of deep. It's kind of a deep book. I'm going to just bring it up here to eye level, guys. I don't want to move it around. Angie Thomas has published this book, and it's called The Hate You Give. And I'll give you a little bit of insight on it inside the story. 16-year-old Star Carter moves between two worlds, the poor black neighborhood where she lives and the fancy suburban prep school she attends. The uneasy balance between these worlds is shattered when Star witnesses the fatal shooting of her childhood best friend, Khalil, at the hands of the police officer. Khalil was unarmed. Soon afterwards, Khalil's death is a national headline. Some are calling him a thug, maybe even a drug dealer and a gangbanger. Star's best friend at school suggests he may have had it coming when it becomes clear the police have little interest in investigating the incident. Protesters take to the street and Star's neighborhood becomes a war zone. What everyone wants to know is what really went down that night. And the only person alive who can answer that is Star. And so as you can tell just from reading that, this one, it's kind of likened to the book on Trayvon. Hey, Henry, I'm getting ready to go get on the radio with their brother. This one, as you know, it's a novel, but it sounds very much like that story of Trayvon and his best friend who had to testify, who some many believe hurt the case, because we had a defense team that already didn't know how to defend black life. They're so used to prosecuting black life, they don't know how to defend black life, and that's why each of these cases continue to go unresolved, unpunished, because we have prosecutors throughout this country that don't know how to defend black life. They know how to prosecute, but they don't know how to defend, and that's what happened in each and all of those cases. So get it in a book. I'm just saying. So just hanging out. I had a few minutes to not necessarily waste, because we don't waste time, but I needed to get you some This Ain't That Book Club, and I had to get into the city, so a little rushed on it, but we are looking around, checking out the bookshelves, trying to see what could be our book this week. Now, the way This Ain't That Book Club is going to work going forward, I love these little books like this. I have a couple I keep a couple on my table stacked, and so when people come by and they've got this or that going on, I try to send people home with a book. And I'm telling you, over the holiday seasons, please, for every occasion, get a book and give a child a basket of books. Put a basket of books under the tree. You'll be surprised. All those toys you're going to fill up that living room with, you'll be surprised how they will gravitate toward the book, especially if the cover of the book looks like them. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Everybody should have that book, especially since we're going to talk about intent and integrity today. Intent and integrity. That's what I'm going to talk about on the radio. And we're going to talk about, especially going into this being a serious business season, y'all. This is a serious business season. If you're trying to use your skills to pay bills, if you want to BYOB, be your own boss, if you're trying to become an entrepreneur, if you're trying to grow from being an entrepreneur to becoming a growth firm, we're in hyper consumer season. Okay. This one, we looked at this one last week, and this one is by Chuck D, and it's called This Day in Rap and Hip Hop. Unfortunately, we had to leave that on the shelf because I think they should redo it, because it's, when you open up the book, it's broken down by the year. So it should say this year in rap history, or they should revisit it, because like, say for instance, what we found out, like, if we wanted to open the book up and look up today's date, we really couldn't because of the way the book is laid out. It's laid out by year. So each year you got to go in, like, we want to see what's going on in November. We have to turn each page. I mean, they didn't even have, I thought at least they would have an index back there where we can look up the day and it'll tell us which page also had a November. So see how I have to turn here, and we have to go and find, and it's broken down by year. So it should be called This Year in Rap History, but that's just not the chronological way to do that. So it was a miss for us, even though it is, and it should be on your table, coffee table, on your library, on your bookshelf. It is stock full of information. Clearly lots and lots of information about hip hop. And you know, anything that Chuck D is doing is incredible. You know, unfortunately, while it is an amazing wiki or encyclopedia of hip hop history, difficult. It's very difficult to find and follow different things, especially since it's called This Day in Rap and Hip Hop, because they do have an index, couple of indexes, I think, back in the back, if you're looking at a particular event. But for those that are learning history, they wouldn't know to look it up by event. So, you know, I thought they need one. They need to just put an addendum in there, you know, the next printing, to go back and put it by day. Hell, you know. All right, let me just shout out everybody coming in. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Stephanie. Henry. I said hello. Hey, Zakia. I said hello to Zakia. Hello, Rita. Hello, Misa. Hello, Susanna, Ebony, Tiffany, Anitres. Okay, go back some more. Okay, cool. All right, and so LeBron James, I haven't really looked inside his book. It's been on the shelf for a minute. Let's bring it down a little bit. We've never really looked in that. So what we're going to do with This Ain't That Book Club, we don't have, with the other parts of Dryer Buzz coming back for the fall, we don't really have the whole week to kind of explore the books. But I said at least I can on Wednesday live stream. Let me check my time. Live stream. Okay, we're going to rig it out. Live stream and come in, and we'll explore new things that have been added to the shelf to see how the shelves have changed. And then also we've got books. We've started to receive books. So we'll be exploring those as well. And then also I'm going to do a split screen. Got a couple split screen interviews coming up, looking at a number of press releases and so forth. And so you will see a number of these authors on with us for This Ain't That Book Club. So maybe we'll be live in store and then have a split screen going on. Let's see what is this book? LeBron, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the greatest comeback in NBA history. Of late, I'm really impressed with LeBron. I think he has really stepped up to be a leader, and I think every team out there is trying to get their team to the point where they will have a leader. I know Atlanta, I'm really shocked. You know, the Atlanta Hawks tickets are still available for tonight's game. That lets you know Atlanta is dealing with some stuff. Return of the King. What really happened when LeBron James stunned the NBA by leaving a potential dynasty in Miami to come home to play with the Cleveland Cavaliers? How did the Cavs use secret meetings to put together the deal to add star Kevin Love, who really made the controversial decision to fire coach David Blatt when the team was in first place? Where did the greatest comeback? All right, so the music that sounds like a popular song, guys. We are running out of time. I'm going to drive literally right around the corner here. I don't see anything I want to particularly end on. I'm going to actually go over here and end on Joe Biden's book. I don't see anything else, and I definitely want to get away from this song. So I don't see anything else. And again, I'm not in my normal store, so It's oh good, thank you. They cut that. So I'm looking. Oh, you know what? Hey, wait a minute. Look at that. Okay, let's go ahead before I get off of here. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a little bit of Joe Biden. We talked about that. It's called "Promise Me, Dad," a year of hope, hardship, and purpose. And a lot of people saying, "Well, Joe Biden didn't run for president because his son died." Well, what you got to know is Barack Obama, when he sat down with Joe Biden to ask Joe Biden to be vice president, the decision then was whether or not he would run after that. Now, you remember, rewind, Clinton was giving Barack Obama, then Senator or then presidential candidate Barack Obama, a very hard time. She was not willing to get out of the race. So therefore, they had to make a deal with her. And we all know that Joe Biden was selected because he was strong where Barack Obama was weak, right? And I think they made a deal with Clinton then, and I think that was really the only reason that she conceded, is that they would move out of the way and let her have an opportunity to run for president. Now, we know that failed, and so now Joe Biden has said he does have some regrets about not running for president. But yeah, at the same time, he did have to deal with the loss of his son, and he would have had to hit the campaign trail with that. But I think even that, more so than anything, as they say, in politics, that would have propelled him into office. But there is hope. He says, keep dreaming. There is hope. They're thinking about it. He's on a book tour right now, and this one, again, deeply moving memoir. And we love memoirs because we love books that read like blogs. Memoir about the year that will forever change both a family and a country. In November 2014, 13 members of the Biden family gathered on Nantucket for Thanksgiving, a tradition they have been celebrating for previous 40 years. It was the one constant in what had become a hectic, scrutinized, and overscheduled life. The Thanksgiving holiday was a time to connect and reflect on what the year had brought and what the future might hold. But this year felt different from all those that had come before. Joe and Jill Biden's eldest son, Beau, had been diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor 15 months earlier, and his survival was uncertain. Promise me, Dad, Beau had told his father, give me your word that no matter what happens, you're going to be all right. Joe Biden gave him his word. Promise Me, Dad chronicles the year that followed, which would be the most momentous and challenging in Joe Biden's extraordinary life and career. Vice President Biden traveled more than 100,000 miles that year across the world, dealing with crises in Ukraine, Central America, and Iraq. When a call came from New York or Capitol Hill, I lost my place. Joe, I need your help. He responded for 12 months while Beau fought for and then lost his life. The vice president balanced the twin imperatives of living up to his responsibilities to his country and his responsibilities to his family. And never far away was the insistent and urgent question of whether he should seek the presidency in 2016. The year brought real triumph and accomplishment and wrenching pain. So that is on your shelves, guys, and looks like it's going to be pretty much a great read. It is snowed in Munich early Sunday morning, and the temperature never rose above the freezing mark, so the ground crunched under our feet as my granddaughter Finnegan and I approached the entrance gate near the looming guard tower that afternoon. There was a 95-year-old man at the gate sitting in his wheelchair waiting to greet us. So it sounds like this is going to be a pretty good read, and there he is, Joe Biden. Why does everybody love Joe Biden? Well, when you compare him to Trump or anybody to Trump, it looks like a savior. Can Joe Biden get in the race and save this country? He has asked America to keep dreaming. Now, one thing that is out there right now, people are already saying, what will the team look like? Is it Joe Biden? Is it Biden Booker? Everybody wants to see Cory Booker excel to that kind of leadership. So who could you partner with Joe Biden? So I gotta run, and the conversation doesn't stop here. This ain't that book club. I'm getting ready to go right around the corner, you guys. I'll be coming back live and showing you inside the studio as I go on air with Chandon Carter at Love 860. If you're in Atlanta and in your car, you can listen there. But I'll be dropping some links and sharing some links for you guys to listen, because we're going to talk about it as we go into this season. What is your integrity and what is your intent? And some other things we're going to talk about. This ain't that book club. I'm so glad y'all let me jump on here. But that's our book of the week. Joe Biden, Promise Me Dad. Promise Me Dad. Is that our future president? Hey guys, give me along to @dryerbuzz.com.